Welcome to the DKHizouse. You know what we talking about. Welcome to the DKHizouse. That's what we gonna run our mouth. Hey y'all, just a little disclaimer. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged. I don't know none of these people. I'm just giving my thoughts, my opinions, predictions on what I think I see and know and hear. And I want you to do the same down in the comment section. So don't take everything too seriously, but only with a grain of salt. Because you know we be shoving it up in this kitchen. And welcome, glad to have you. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've been here a couple of times, we'd love to have you in the fam bam. All right, y'all. For so long, we we always looked at the kids as being, annoying at times, too playful, too boisterous, and you have to keep them in check, keep them under control because they know how to get out of hand. And then you have those kids that do know how to act or whatever, but then you have those kids that's constantly needing guidance and reparations. But kids are excited, kids are exhilarated, and kids feel like they can take on the world and they don't care who stands in their way. And to be honest, that's really the attitude that you need to have. Just like, you know, in the Bible it says, have the be as if you're little children. But I feel like kids get a bad rap, and we take children or childhood for granted, and children want to grow up so fast. But then, sorry, it just made me start looking at children's life different. Children have to experience a lot, okay? And the main reason they have to experience a lot is because there's so much that they do not know. And it's a lot of times and a lot of things that parents will not prepare them for, get them ready for. The hard stuff like being aware of sexual predators or being aware of bullies, just stuff that sorry, that can happen in everyday society that deal with regular people who've been hurt, tarnished, abused as individuals, and they grow up to be uh what is it? People who look to predicate or just endanger little ones. Sorry. So for that alone, kids and childhood, I respect it so much more because it's really, sorry, something that people take for granted, childhood. And then we grow up and end up trying to heal our childhood wounds, as they say. And people think childhood is being blissful. They don't have to pay any bills. They don't have a care in the world. But in fact, children experience a lot, due to the fact that there's so much weird stuff going on in today's society. So my heart goes out to children. So anytime you see a child who's smiling and happy, like let them be happy, let them smile, because life has a way of bringing you down, bringing you turmoil. And in reality, as you get older, you decide that you want to be more childlike. You want to laugh. You want to joke. You want to not take life so seriously. You want to dream. You want to imagine things and believe in fairy tales. And then you end up, creating your fairy tales. So children are very powerful, and it's so crazy because you think, okay, a child is born into love, into care, into peace. That's what you would like to think. But a lot of times, some children are born to predators. Sometimes children are born to I'm sorry, every time I see it, it's making me laugh. Some children are born to unstable people, to psychos, to psychopaths, to literal demons and evil beings, and they have to maneuver this world alone to deal with it. If their parent is acting crazy every 5 minutes, they're not going to question their parents. They're going to just be like, oh, well, what can I do? It's not like I can get in the car, go up the street and, go tell somebody, or it's not like I can just leave. It's like you feel like you're stuck with the people that brought you into this world, because who else you gonna love you? Else is gonna appreciate you, because you expected that your parents are gonna love and care for you, But then you hear stories about these parents who their partners have done terrible things to their children, or the parents have done terrible things to their children. So children have to live hard knocks life. And then the school systems. Some of the school systems are terrible. Yeah, I would say get your child in a private school if you are able to. Um because TA, first of all, is taking over most of these schools, right? But it's also like I've been at schools where I've seen some things that I wish I had not have seen or heard. Okay. So some of these things are very adult like things. And even when you were in school, you knew that people were having sex, you knew stuff was going on. So imagine what it's like now. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, kids have to go through school, and it's not like they have to say, oh, I can't go. No, you have to let them go to school. So they have to deal with bullies, they have to deal with kids that are too grown, kids that sometimes don't have any home training. So even surviving a day of school, if your kid is stressed out, believe me, they probably have a reason to be stressed out, because I've experienced some of these schools are more stressful than life itself. I've experienced issue where the kids that were acting up were just free to do what they want to do. Nobody was doing nothing about it. So the other kids around that have to suffer. So at the end of the day, kids need to really be celebrated. They really need to be appreciated, because it's so much danger that comes around kids, and a lot of it deals with them not knowing. So teach your kids how to cook, teach your kids how to be aware of predators, bullies, evil people, demonic things that they will experience. And you're not just taking them to church, because church is cool, but it's people that's devilish and demonic in the church. Demons go to church, and they say Satan himself can quote scriptures. So just because you thinking, oh well, I'm putting them in church, they're gonna be fine. I know people that was on church buses having sex, in church having sex, finding their next sex partners, preachers doing things with their congregation. So just because you're in a house of God doesn't mean, oh, my child is safe. Because no, anytime you're around regular people that have issues, people that have problems, sometimes they will put that on their kid, and their kid will act out and sometimes traumatize other children. So at the end of the day, I have much more respect for children. And because we all know why we wanted to grow up, because we were powerless. We couldn't do this. We couldn't say this. We couldn't go here. We had to do what our parents had to say, I mean, I can even physically really wear what I wanted to wear. My mom bought my stuff. And true enough, it was at one point I even had a job, but I was giving some of my money to my mom, most of my money to my mom. She picked the car that I drove, so that's conditioning as a child affects you as an adult, and then you're realizing why you can't be in a stable relationship, or why, you rather be by yourself and not deal with certain people, or just trauma. Like, you literally have to heal all your trauma from your childhood as an adult. So yeah, kids, try to be a child as long as you can, and try to preserve your innocence. If anybody try to take your innocence, try to come for you, karate chop them in the head, throat, or neck. Okay. And literally, you can't even trust your friends. I've heard stories of, you can't even trust teachers. Teachers trying to have a relationship with children. That's disgusting. Like, are you that bad off that you can't get a grown man to sorry, a woman want to be with you, that you got to try to prone a child? Like, you're pathetic. Pathetic. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like literally people up here getting arrested. Now, half the news be fake, but some of it probably be true to it. Like, you up here literally thinking you in a whole relationship with a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Like, stop. You're disgusting. Like, stop. But I literally have had a person tell me a traumatic experience. Like, even your boyfriends and your girlfriends can target your children. It's disgusting. Even your friends, your spouse could target your children. It's disgusting. Like, the stories are endless. But I even had a person come to me with a story of how their mom's friend attacked them as a child, and they never said nothing about it. And I even witnessed a situation where I didn't know if there was a friend, a parent, or what. And I felt like I needed to step in, but like I didn't see anything, but it was just like an uncomfortable feeling, And so it's just like you just gotta watch every single body, and that's the deal. When you're an adult and you're dealing with children, you're not going to want to watch everything the child does. A lot of times you want the child out of your presence. You're going to send them to the next person, to the next room, and then the child has to figure out how to entertain themselves or be entertained by other people because you're too out of it, or too intoxicated, or too much dealing with your own issues, your own life, to even deal with the other child. So they become free to the abuse or to the trauma that will eventually come to them, because as parents, we rather let them do what they want to do. Now, true enough, I do feel like you need to give children a somewhat of a sense of freedom to create, to manifest, elaborate. But I feel like you need to teach children how to properly manifest the life that they want, their dreams, and, help them become better people, help them to maneuver this world. Because yes, you can talk to a child about sex, because guess what? They're going to hear from somebody, and it might as well be you. You can talk to a child about inappropriate touch and behavior. I'm talking about early as possible, because the people that it's had happened to, and things it's been the people that weren't talked to. They've been abused. Just to hear stories of how people are attacked at such early ages, it disgusts me. It's really sad. It's really crazy. So at the end of the day, these children are in a World War II zone. And you have to really be understanding and patient to deal with it, to understand that they literally are fighting for their lives. They're fighting their demons. They're fighting to come out on the other side. That's why they want to hurry up and leave home. Just imagine having to live with somebody for 18 or 17 or 16 years, and you don't have a say so. You have to listen to them because they're your parent. What is another thing that's like? It's really like jail. You survive 18 years of jail, and then you go into adulthood that's either going to be better your life or cause you to be more of a jail. So childhood is so formidable of how an adult is going to react, behave for the rest of their life. So my deal is, I don't feel like you should just say you're a parent. Like, I feel like you have to be a parent, like be a protector, be a mentor, be a guide, be a helper. Like, teach your son how to cook too. He doesn't need to depend on a woman, but of course women need to know how to cook, and they're going to probably do most cooking, but at least a man can know the basic stuff on like how to make hamburger meat and hot dogs. Well, hot dogs ain't really cooking, but chicken, fry some chicken. And I think that will at least open up the door to where they be like, okay, I at least can say if I get hungry, I can make me some spaghetti, or I can, what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to call the next chick that's crazy, psychotic and stuff like that. But hey, they got to eat, right? And even with your daughters, I feel like it's a discrepancy not to teach your daughters how to cook, and you know how to cook. Now, if you know how to cook, that's different. But if you know how to cook, or somebody taught you how to cook, you should definitely teach your daughters, because they're going to grow up to be women who don't know how to cook. And that's the disservice as a parent. I feel like you can't really call yourself a parent if you're not teaching your children how to do regular, basic stuff that they'll need to know to be an adult, how to balance a checkbook, how to deal with a loan or deal with credit card and building their credit, like stuff like that. Yeah, you think they'll learn that at school, but as a parent, you need to teach them everything. You don't expect any school to teach them anything but how to count and read. You know what I'm saying? As a parent, you don't think, oh, they're going to learn it all in church. No, you need to be talking to your kids. That's actually a thing. Some of these kids are sometimes smarter than even adults at times, the way they think and they articulate and they see the world. So I used to even be just like annoyed to be around kids a little bit, henceforth why I don't have kids. But now looking at it, kids can be funny, kids can be hilarious, kids can be humorous, and you really have to just admire them, how they navigate the world with such happiness, such zeal. And it's only when they get older that they become quieter, more reserved, less gleeful, due to all the life experiences that they have to endure. And I just feel like as a parent, you got to mold them and teach them at a young age so they can master and conquer this world, because it's not a joke. It's not a joke. And if I would have known a lot of things my earlier age, I feel like I would have been better prepared to deal with some of the things that I dealt with, so I can be a much more productive person in society. So I feel like parents are really not doing their jobs, and parents are really not appreciative of the blessings that they have that are called children. And I think they should be. Because sometimes I feel like children are looked at as burdens because they didn't ask to be here. Like nobody told you to be with that man, open, yourself to a person that you didn't see a future with or got on your nerves. But children do not choose to be here. It's like divine intervention. They're like, oh, I want to put this child in this world with this person and with these parents. And they have to figure it out. They have to maneuver the world the best that they can. I feel like you can learn a lot from your child, to be happy, to be harmonious, stay gleeful, and look at the world as a dream, a dream ready to manifest. Y'all can learn from each other. Well, as always, thank you for stopping by at the His House for your last tea, entertainment, and gossip and predictions. And we will definitely have more. So definitely come back and see us. And if you want to be notified, hit that bell and also subscribe, especially if you've been here before. Come back again and again. But subscribe and join the fam band. We'd love to have you. And if you liked anything that was said on today, or even made you laugh, joke, think, ponder, make sure you hit that thumbs up or that like button, especially if you agree or disagree. And comment down below.